find out what we did later. There will likely be YouTube videos, but if we're all three here, I may not record because if you're right in the middle of my day, so it's actually not that complicated or stressful for me to record. So today, what we're doing is completely describing a graph. So what our activity is going to be is I'm going to give each of you 4 different graphs, like the XY axes and something graphed on it. You will have to answer questions about the graph, and hopefully then the other 2 classmates are going to be able to draw it. You cannot say, my graph is the line of x plus 1. You cannot just tell them, but you can answer questions. Yeah, there is one like this, yeah.
My graph is a smiley face.
So, I have the graphs. What I want you to do right now is on your paper, write down what questions can be asked about a graph to figure out what it looks like.
Wait, should we turn on our homework?
Oh yeah, we should check our homework. So sorry, that's our activity, but we should check our homework. Yeah, I looked right at you. I'll give you a set of graphs and got excited. I think I jumped right past checking homework in Math 7 too because I told them not to turn it in. So we'll check that one. Oh, this is your homework. Was it?
1-50.
Yeah. Guys, they gave us desk chairs, but because I made my desk, this is as high as this chair goes. It's like way too low. It just feels wrong. Like if I sit at this, my arms are way too high. It's just kind of funny. I guess I can have a chair to like zoom around the classroom.
That's like my favorite thing to do.
Because like there's a desk here.
That
About it, my elbow.
seems unsafe.
Yeah, you're probably right.
But is it fun?
I need to figure out how this lets me leave. There's like gotta be releases somewhere.
Wait, that's the
Questions?
highest it goes?
This is the highest it goes. Whoa! Maybe not, well, I don't know, the back just moved like that. Ooh. You know, that's the highest it goes.
It has like 3 inches worth of change. Why does it have change? Oh my goodness. That's smaller than these chairs, I think.
Figuring out all the things.
That's such a weird looking chair.
You're supposed to release. Why aren't you releasing? What do you do? Questions on homework?
Oh.
You go up to
Most isosceles are not very isosceles.
Yeah, I don't know why we say that it's more correct. Do you not believe that? You have to be able to lean back. Lean back. Lean back. Ooh. Lock, unlock. Unlock. Questions?
I am still kind of confused about the difference between a parallelogram and a rhombus, but I'm almost done with looking at the other questions.
I got everything except C. Before C.
Before a C of 54, what?
I got everything right except 54C.
Um,
I know where I get wrong.
gotta double check the setup.
Oh, that's cool. I divided by 0.8 to just square, and it worked the same way.
Yeah, because, okay, so what does the -2 power do?
Oh, the negative, yeah. Okay, reverse is a reciprocal.
It puts it in the denominator, right? So it makes it a reciprocal. So 54, I might be missing this page.
And multiplied by a reciprocal is the same as division. Oh, okay.
Oh, it's because they want you to use the same rate and go back in time. So what you did probably could work, but just isn't what they asked for. Does that make sense? Well, so dividing by 0.8 will make it bigger, right? And multiplying by 1.2 will make it bigger. It's not quite, I don't, like, the 0.8 and the 0.2 won't work the same as each other. At least I really don't think so. We'd have to get lucky for that to work. But there would be a 1 point something you could use. That makes sense? Because, like, to get bigger, but we're going back in time, so they want us to use a negative exponent. Other questions?
You remind me, what's the difference between a parallelogram and a rhombus?
So do you want this or should we keep it?
You can hang on to it for now. Rhombus. Well, tell me what is special about a rhombus.
I
This is
thought
better
it was
than
the,
It's got 4 congruent sides.
oh, all the sides are congruent instead of, oh, in a parallelogram, none of the sides have to be congruent.
There has to be 2 sets.
Or there has to be 2, but that's because all the sides are parallel. Or 2 sets congruent because all the sides are parallel.
Well, 2 sets of parallel sides, but yes.
Wait, yeah, how would all the sides be parallel?
A rhombus is a quadrilateral with all sides of equal length and opposite sides are parallel and has reflectional symmetry and 180 rotational symmetry.
Awesome. Homework that we have to do today, that's due on Monday, right?
No. I don't like collecting work on Monday. So, like Tuesday at earliest. Don't show anybody these. It's secret.
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 You need graph paper to write it?
Yep, you need graph paper.
Okay.
Draw 8 really simple XY axes. But then before we start, and I was kind of nice by giving you your graphs to look at first, what are questions that you think you should ask to your classmates to determine what their graphs look like?
Does it have to be a yes or no question?
Nope. So it could be like, what is your domain? What, like, you know what I mean? Is your graph increasing or decreasing? Is it concave up or concave down? I'm giving you a lot of really
Is
good
it a
ones.
straight line?
Is it a straight line or is it a curve, right? Like,
Is it discrete or continuous?
write these things. So you're right, but write these things down.
Oh, so
And you, like, it doesn't need to be fancy. Just like jot down these ideas real fast, like discrete or continuous, like increasing, decreasing. Does that change in behavior? And then if somebody wants to read, we could read the setup, I guess. I tweaked this activity a little bit because there's 3 of us, and I think it's more fun when we try to. There's a game where, like, somebody describes like a face or a picture or whatever, and you try to draw it like blind, and then it's like really funny because like how close or far away from the actual one are you?
Is that Pictionary?
I feel like the rules of Pictionary are a little bit different. They're like in Pictionary, you draw a thing and people guess what it is. What I'm describing is like somebody describes what to draw, and you try to draw the thing they're describing.
I can't say what it is.
Correct. Well, no, because they would be like, all right, in the middle of the picture, draw a house. Above the house, draw a sun.
So it's not just one thing.
Right. But for you, that's the game. This is just a graph. So,
That sounds fun.
So, I guess we could just go ahead and start asking questions. So, who would like to be the first question answerer? Connor. So, Jake and Akshaya, let's take turns asking questions of Connor about, let's go your top graph, the one on the top of the page.
Is it a straight line?
No.
Is it curved?
exact definition of parabola? I forgot.
Which graph do you have? What's the letter above it?
C.
Your answer is yes.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah.
So, what's the y-intercept?
Although your confusion should give them a clue.
It's 1, -1.
Jake's like, wait.
The y-intercept?
It's 1 and -1.
Oh.
I remember we said these are graphs. We did not say that they are functions.
Where's your x-intercept?
-1.
So do we have to try to draw?
Yeah, you gotta try to draw it.
Alright.
I think you know enough now. That was actually really good. Good question asking. Now I get to have fun by coming and looking at them. And Connor, like when you guys say you're done, Connor gets to come tell you if you're right or not. Connor's like, man, this is why I went first.
So what did you say the x-intercept was?
-1.
Yesterday was National Dog Day.
Yeah, I saw that on
Hope you guys gave your puppies some petsies.
I don't have the dog. My parents are allergic. And also we wouldn't be able to
Okay,
take
I'm
care
done.
of it. Okay, let's see if you're wrong. Does it have to be like exactly the same?
No, I mean, parabolas are a little hard to get the slope right on. You know what I mean?
But
So if they're at least like pretty darn close.
they're not really all that close.
Whoa! Well, if you're just being honest and you're being honest. Alright, well, I mean, you can have him ask more questions.
You know I can see it through the thing, right?
Oh, well, I did not realize that, no.
Wait.
I think that looks right to me, based on what I can see through the thing.
this right? I feel like this is wrong.
No.
Are you sure I didn't get this right, Mr. Hudson? Can you check?
I mean, you're closer than Akshay is. But your graph isn't really parabolic since it looks pretty darn flat.
Wait, what's the?
Wait.
So remember that a parabola's
1
slope
and -1.
behavior changes at a factor squared. Right, so a normal, what is normal? Normal parabola, kind of like that, a little bit steeper probably, but it's never flat, right? It's never straight up and down. So I think that's what Connor's picking on. Since we know it's a parabola, I'm just going to go ahead and call it out like it is.
Well, and also, like, there's like a secondary
Is
point.
that closer?
Are there more questions that could be asked?
It's close.
I can see it.
Like, yeah, it's like
I'm going to jump in and ask the question.
quite a full square off.
Connor, what's your output when your input's 5?
What?
What's your output when your input's 5?
Negative 2.5 or positive 2.5?
There you go. Now Jake can fix this graph. Now Akshay should identify that it's pointed to the right. Mm-hmm.
Oh, that says Phoenix. The F and the N are very blending in, so I thought it said Hoenn.
The F and the N?
Yeah, the F and the N are hard to
The
see.
F and the N?
The F and the N.
The P and the N.
Oh!
Silly.
What? It looks like Hoenn.
Oh, no, the science guy. All right, let's move on to Jake or Akshay. Would you like to answer?
Connor said yes, this is it.
All right, well, let's go Jake then. All right, Akshay, you want to ask the first question to Jake?
No.
Yeah, you do.
Okay, does it have to be the top one?
Yeah, well, tell me what letter you're doing.
Okay,
V?
G.
G? Okay. I know which one, so I know that you're not lying to people.
Is it a straight line?
No.
Is it a function?
Yes.
Okay.
Actually, wait.
Yes.
Yes, it is.
Well, so you can ask yourself, does it pass the vertical line test? If so, it's a function.
Yes, it is a function.
Is it a parabola?
No.
Jake, what stopped you up for a moment goes back to the question you asked earlier. We'll figure it out in a second. Hopefully they think to ask it.
Does it involve?
Is it continuous or discrete?
I don't know what that means.
Yeah, I forget what that means.
Oh, does it mean like the line doesn't go on forever?
That is what discrete means, is that it is not continuous. Continuous means it goes on. So discrete is like how many pizzas I'm going to order for my party depending on how many people show up. But if I change pizzas every time a person shows up. Remember, there are also step functions that we talk about. There are also exponential functions that we talk about. Linear functions. So we know it's a function. We know it's discrete. Do we know?
It's not a parabola.
Okay, we know it's not a parabola.
Is it connected to itself? Like, are there any holes in the line? Like, are there any places that there are like multiple lines? Or is it all one line? Like one continuous?
It's not continuous.
I think your easiest answer is no. No.
No.
Wait, what was the question?
What's the y-intercept?
All right, so we know y-intercept's at 8.
Undefined, I don't know.
There is none. Yeah, just there is none.
Is it increasing?
From left to right, it is decreasing.
Is it decreasing at a constant rate?
No.
Is it just some weird line?
I thought we already figured out it's not a line.
Oh, yeah. Is it some weird curve?
Well, we know it's not continuous too, so I don't even know if we can call it a curve.
Is it?
We might have curved behavior, but I don't know if we can call it a curve.
Is it
Can we
like?
call? Hold on, question. Like legit question. Can we call? Yes, my shoes off. Can we call a discrete graph like a line or a curve?
Definitely can't call it a line.
Well, you can call it line segment. And
But if it's discrete, it's a collection of points.
oh, discrete means a collection of. Okay.
Because it's not continuous. Like, so that's what I wanted to make sure we remember what discrete means.
Okay.
So discrete would be one person shows up, I order one pizza. 2 people shows up, I order 2 pizzas. I can't talk today because masks. 3 people, 3 pizzas. 4 people, 4 pizzas, right? Like that would be discrete.
Yeah, it's exponential.
And if I could
Oh,
order,
you can't have like 4.5 people.
correct, I can't have 4.5 people or 4.5 pizzas because I can't order that many.
Yeah.
So when we graph it as a line, that's not actually accurate. It should be discrete points.
Okay. What are all the coordinates of every single
Yeah,
Not allowed.
Not allowed. Not happening.
Quadrant. Quadrant.
Oh, yeah, how many quadrants is it?
No.
I know it's a fine number. What's the relationship between the... Wait, is there any point with the x value of 1?
Yes.
Well, why not?
6 point something.
Right there.
I will let you ask about one more specific x values output.
6.1?
What is point something? Is it above 0.5?
I can't tell. The graph is so tiny.
Okay, so
It's like 6.3. Akshay, what x value would you like to know the output of?
30.
That's a good one.
4.
Wait, so the x is 3 and the y is 4?
Yep. Now, if he tells you that there is a point at every input, Can you draw an approximation of that graph? Go ahead and try.
Probably.
There's a point at every input from 0 to 10.
And you know 0, 1, and 3.
Yeah, you guys know 0, 1, and 3, so you know what it looks like. They should be pretty close.
So do we just not connect them, or
Are discrete graphs connected?
No.
Answer your own question.
Silly.
stop calling me that?
It is kind of derogatory, to be honest. I think that's
So now that they've requested that you stop, it is only polite to stop, but I find it funny. You can call me silly as much as you want.
It's funny, but like only once per day. And then it gets a bit obnoxious.
Yeah.
So if you could limit it.
Cause like my
Oh,
sister calls me
I
that.
forgot to show you guys this. I think this year I might try to do a Friday Funny and start class with.
That apparently did.
Oh,
If you haven't seen this with the piano, it's about to change your life.
What did you think about the ride? That was great. I've never been on my television before. I remember sometimes I watch news, and I was a kid, and really every time one of my kids be around and watch the Powerball. Tell me about the ride. That was great. Spin around, and really every time you get dizzy, all you do is get dizzy. Yeah. I've never ever been on my television. I've never ever been on my
Holding the
television.
mic.
Yeah, probably only one time.
Just so you know,
I
no.
would have loved scared half to death. I just freaked out.
I freak out. Alright, feel free to submit suggestions to me if you would like.
Man, there's one this way.
You guys can see the mace one too if you
Wait,
want. It
one
doesn't say
person
anything.
is like that. It was probably the kid. What happened to you?
I got me. Yeah, I made it like a foot inside and they pushed me out and he paced me. Wow, it's probably too much. She was the one that from the hospital to the thing. We're storming the Capitol. It's a revolution.
It definitely looks like a revolution. Okay. Let's ask Akshay some questions. Akshay, what graph are you choosing? Give me a letter.
Big as this one, it looks like.
You guys should be pretty darn close.
Except for not the flat part because I can't draw.
So I'm gonna show you guys all of these graphs at the end. Maybe I'll show you the whole page of them. So that's as many questions as I think we need to ask Jake.
Oh, I'm actually happy. I'm close.
All right, Akshay, which
That's
graph
too close.
are you choosing?
It's not like
K?
a
Okay. Okay. Gentlemen, questions. Actually, I'm only going to give you 5 questions. Because I'm looking at what the graph is. You guys get to ask 5. Oh, sorry. My bad.
Do we have 5 extra questions?
You can have 6 questions, 3 each. How about that?
Okay.
All right. So, Connor, Jake, fight each other to see who goes first. No, I'm joking. Whoever wants to go first, you go
Is
first.
it a function?
Yes.
You can ask all of your questions.
Is it a straight line?
Could you have asked both of those questions at the same time? What? I'm here to be your teacher. I gotta at least push you a little bit.
Silly.
You could have asked both those questions in one question. Just say it. You could have said, "Is it a linear function?" Well,
Oh,
and then if she said no, then just whatever. Because if you started with, "Is it a line?" You know it's a function, unless it's a vertical line. All right, sorry. Go ahead. 2 questions down.
Yeah, you're right.
Who knows?
How many quadrants?
Yep.
Okay.
Now, how I would have asked that question better, because I'm your teacher, I gotta push you. What quadrants does your graph exist in?
Oh, yeah, you're right.
Uh-oh.
All right, Jake, see if you can bring it home in 3 questions.
What's the y-intercept? What's the slope?
Yeah.
Okay,
Negative
Yeah.
what?
Negative 1.
Oh, okay. Wait. Oh, wait.
It's not gonna go into the third quadrant because I didn't make my graph big enough.
You said it's in 3 quadrants, Jake.
You mean it's not going to go into the fourth quadrant?
No, the third one. Is it this?
Jake, the joke I was trying to make
Because that's called the third quadrant, the fourth quadrant.
is because this is quadrant 4. Just the because people like to forget what quadrant is what. Remember, this is quadrant 1, this is quadrant 2.
I thought it was
Counterclockwise. That's counterclockwise.
Quadrant 2 makes sense, and then I guess you're continuing.
I thought quadrant 1 and 2 were close.
So it's positive, positive. Here's what doesn't make sense to me. Then it goes negative, positive. I feel like it should have gone positive, negative. You know what I mean?
Well, because if you want something where the y value can be has to be positive, but the x value can be negative.
Yeah. Yep.
I don't think that kid knows what apparently means.
I sent that to the 7th grade team, and I said, apparently this video is funny.
Oh, that's so bad.
Apparently. It was like when he talks about the Powerball. All right, back to Connor. We got it, right? We got our chase. It's a line. We know the x-intercept and the slope. We know the y-intercept and the slope.
3.
No, I mean, I'm sorry. Okay, yeah, that one looks right.
Okay, x-intercept is 6.
All right, Connor, what letter are you going to choose?
I think
I think you should choose either F or I. Actually, they're all good.
I was gonna pick F or L.
All right.
I think F would be funny, so I'm gonna
Do
go
it.
with F.
Oh, wait, you have to ask questions, right? Is it a line? A straight line?
All lines are straight.
Wait, oh, now you're confusing me.
Fair point.
Let's say as few questions as possible. I won't put a number on it, but we got the last one in 5. Because Jake only asked 2 questions. So we got the last one in 5.
Is it a parabola?
Ask that first.
No.
Then you ask.
Is it a line?
No.
Is it a function?
Yes. Discrete. Wait, or is it continuous?
It's actually, we can't quite tell.
It's either?
Hold up.
If we zoomed in, it's probably continuous, which means it has output values at every possible input value.
Oh, that's what continuous
Well, so let me double check.
If that's what
I-
continuous means, then yes, it's continuous.
It is not discrete points. I will go ahead and answer that for him.
It's not one singular.
Discrete distribution is one in which the data set can only take on certain values, for example, integers.
Oh. Then, no, it's continuous.
A continuous distribution is one in which data can take on, which I think means the inputs, any value within a specific range. So, right, since we can use any input, I think this counts as continuous.
It is continuous.
And guys, Scout's honor, this is as certain as I am, is not very certain.
Google
Like,
says so.
but like they don't even know what graph we're looking at right now. They're just like,
Statistics.com says so.
Oh wow, .com. Actually, some .com.
I was about to say that means commercial.
They're getting paid.
But it has statistics in it.
They're getting paid to tell us statistics, so it must be good, right?
More questions.
What are the x and y intercepts?
That's what you just asked, and not applicable. Or maybe there's 2 y-intercepts.
There's either a y-intercept at
There's either a y-intercept at 0 or -1 or no y-intercept, and the x-intercept would be, and the x-intercept would be 0 to 1. Every point in there is the x-intercept.
Wait, what? horizontal line?
Pardon the interruption. Could Maggie Dunn please report to the main office? Maggie Dunn, please report to the main office. Thank you.
Yes and no.
What?
Would you say it's a horizontal line?
No, it's not a line.
Oh, yeah, good point.
Silly. I don't understand.
Nor do I.
No comprendo.
Oh my god. What was the thing you threw a paper at me yesterday and I did
I
not?
said you were salty and bitter.
How late was that? Was it after I called you salty?
Yeah.
So then you still gave it to me? That's
Yeah, but then because you were the one that did it.
did what?
The thingy, the decision to give them.
That's because I didn't want you to win.
Yeah.
You didn't want to win.
It wasn't
No, I
just
just
her. It
didn't
was
want-
our whole team. Our
I
whole
just
team
didn't want
hated
A to win.
you. Yes, A is bad.
Yeah, I mean my name's so
Okay, I give up.
Don't give up.
No, because if we gave it to you, you would have been like, oh, and then but you didn't really care if they won. So
What is the point on the y-axis if there is one?
I already told you.
It's either,
It's either no points or
No.
0 and -1.
it's probably not no points. So it's
Oh, yeah.
either -1 or 0.
Oh yeah, because it's a function, so it's not no points. Yeah. Okay. Yeah, so it's -1 or 0. It's kind of hard to tell.
Alright, what's the point at 1 on the x-axis?
The point at 1 on the x-axis, that would be either
oh god.
0 or 1.
Actually, I think it's all the way 0 to 1, isn't it?
No, because I don't think there's a vertical.
Is it like a super
Oh wait, was he asking Y or X?
The x.
So
He was
X.
asking He was asking the x at the x value of 1. What is the y value? Is that what you were saying?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, never mind. Then
It's either 0 or 1.
I don't like this guy.
if I am ordering pizza for a party, I'm gonna assume that I'm gonna show up.
Connor is your line, this.
Kind of close.
Not
So
funny.
even with 0 guests, this is gonna be my guests. X is my guest. I'm gonna order 1 pizza, and I can't really eat a whole pizza. So even if 1 person shows up, I'm probably okay with 1 pizza. But when 2 people show up, we should probably abandon the single pizza and decide to order 2 pizzas. But a 3rd person wouldn't make us order another pizza. A 4th person would. 5th person
Is
wouldn't.
that Connor's line?
And a 6th person would.
Not-
Now, the difference between these functions and why Connor and I can't really answer your questions is sometimes we fill in over here. Sometimes we fill in over here. But if we fill in both spots, what is this not now?
A function.
It's not a function now. So these are what we call step functions, actually known as piecewise functions, but this is nicknamed a step function. I bet you can guess why. It looks like steps. These have 2 types, a floor function and a ceiling function, telling you whether or not you bump up or down. Now, we don't need to know this right now, but doesn't this complicate the behavior of the graph and how we describe it?
Yes.
Yeah, that's frustrating, isn't it?
Yeah.
I totally didn't pick it because it was super frustrating.
So, one of you guys want to choose one of your top ones?
No.
No? Okay, well, I guess we're
Well,
done.
I think graph G was my top one.
Yeah, I think you did so. Probably. I mean, you could do
J might be.
J. Yeah, J would be tough.
Yeah, let's do that one.
Do J.
Alright. Ask away.
Is it a linear function?
No.
Okay.
I don't know how late we're in here. We got like 6 minutes left.
Is it continuous or discrete? Okay.
Yep.
Wait, could you have a non-continuous function?
Yes.
Yeah, because to be a function, you just have to pass the vertical line. Well, nah. You have to be able to be described with like.
Oh yeah, because functions can have.
Yes.
Where there is no.
But how we write the function gets extremely complicated.
Oh yeah.
Because we give like domain restrictions. Do you know what I'm talking about? Where like you can restrict the domain and say like this behavior in this domain, this behavior in this domain, this behavior in this domain.
It's starting to sound like computer science.
I used to have one of these, but it broke.
Well, that one's broken too.
Wait, why is it broken?
I think it's broken at like step 62 or something like that. Hey, but we're in the middle of an activity. People are asking you questions.
Does it look like that jumble? No, that's not a question.
Jake, is it increasing or decreasing? Well, or yes, or no. You could have answered any of those answers.
Is it a horizontal line?
See, because that's, you said not applicable. That's a little misleading, because now she thinks it's horizontal.
Is it a zigzag?
What's a zigzag?
Like a shape that goes up, down, up, down, up, down, up.
Well, be careful, because how you define a zigzag might, like, if you guys define zigzag differently, that's just not a very mathy term. How could we describe a zig and then a zag and then a zig again? How could we describe that mathematically? What would we call that? Like, because you said zigzag, but what's, if I'm going up, then going down, then going up.
But they went like.
I know, but what will, how do we describe that mathematically? I'm not trying to help him get your graph, I'm just trying to help him not use the word zigzag.
Like
If I was going up, but now I'm going down, what happened?
you change direction.
Change of behavior, right? Change of direction. So we can ask, are there behavior changes, right? Are there points where the behavior changes? That's zigzag. Mathematically, the behavior is changing. And that is where you would say, this behavior under this domain, and then we change, and we have this behavior under this domain. Now, this graph is not that complicated yet. It doesn't need splits in the function description, but eventually we will.
Okay.
So this is not an absolute value graph, but absolute value graphs can be defined by 2 different lines, right? Or the absolute value of x. So it can either be positive x, negative x, or the absolute value of x. That's what I'm talking about with like describing a function with 2 different equations. I would ask some intercepts.
Zero. 2 and -3.
And y is 0.
Yep, y is the origin.
And it's not a horizontal line.
See, she's stuck on horizontal. Especially because you just told her there's 2 x-intercepts.
Wait, it's a function and it's
I'm
not
here right now,
linear.
guys.
Wait,
Hey, if
this
somehow
way?
I get held up, class is over in, did I say 44? We have 2 minutes. So I gotta run to the restroom real quick if it's available. If I get held up for, I should be there.
Did you get held up
Like
for
a
something?
squiggly.
I know.
Is it like a parabola?
Nope, sure isn't a parabola.
So it's not as quick as this one.
It's not a squiggly, no.
What? X. Wait, no. Wait. What is wrong with you that you would choose such a difficult line? That's like a... Shush. I have the excuse it looks cool. So there's no... Is there a change in behavior at
So
all?
you can see, he can see if thing, I mean, it's not, yeah.
Now you can.
Wait, what did you ask?
Is there a change in behavior?
And what did you say?
Yes.
Does the line I know this isn't a very mathematical question, but does the line go up and then just like disappear and another line starts below it or above it?
Is it? It's not a
Oh,
function.
it's not long.
Wait, it's not a function. It is a function. It's not a line.
So, was my squiggly line closed?
Wait, is it
Not
continuous?
really. Yes. You already asked that.
Oh, okay. Is it geometry?
Huh?
Is it geometry?
Is it like a geometric sequence? Not
No.
Oh no, I was just asking, is it geometry?
All right, so the graph of x squared. How many times does that change behavior?
Once.
Once, twice.
I think it's once. This is for up, right?
So, one question we can start to ask as we talk about functions deals with the power. Well, what do we call that? There's another word that starts with D. I don't know if you guys know this yet.
Defibrillator. No.
It's green.
Oh.
This is the degree of the polynomial.
Oh, so it's like second degree x. Like second degree murder.
So,
Okay.
Okay.
so we can very quickly, if we talk about the power, know how many times we potentially change behavior. We are out of time, so that is it for today.
So do we get to find out what the graph is or not?
You guys want to see him, or do you want to keep more secret?
No, I want
No,
to
let's
see
see it. Let's see it. Let's see it. That's not real.
Oh, wait, I found one.
All right, so Connor's first one. Oh, somebody hit the right X up there, would you? Well, I
Oh.
can go
Wait, which one did you?
Hit the red X.
Oh, see, I was close. It was
on the little package
I
menu.
know, but no, it worked. It was close. You didn't even say it was
Beside
close.
the memory card thing.
It
Back,
wasn't
yep.
close. It had like 15 little squares.
All right, so
Close.
Connor's first one. Connor's first one. We mostly got this one. Jake's first one.
Oh.
You guys were a little bit off on that.
Jake's last one that he was just trying to
See,
get
I
you
had
to
that
get.
idea. I just made too many scoopers.
Akshaya's line.
You had graph out.
This is what was confusing everyone with Connor. That step function, we cannot tell if it's floor or ceiling because we're not zoomed in close enough. All right, put the puzzle ball away. You guys got to get out of here. You can keep it in your binder if you want. We'll probably talk about those more. I've got more copies, so if you lose them, it's okay.
Okay. Oh, is it recording?
Yeah.